Look at me now, I made it through. I overcame what they hated. I'ma give myself congratulations because I made it. I'm on a whole new dimension. These miracles on top of blessings. Tell your father what's the mention. To mention. Thought you never get through. People change, seasons change, new levels raining all on you. It gets better from here. It gets better from here. Favor looking good on me. No pressure, it's time to seek. Therapy. Oh, it's okay to have therapy. Therapy.
What is a critical conversation? Well, besides it being a conversation that needs to be had, a critical conversation reveals important context, not only about ourselves, but also the larger world around us. It is these types of conversations that edify, entertain, as well as heal. Join Latanya Harris Gooden as she engages in critical conversations right here on Trailblazers Radio.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is Tuesday night. Sisters, welcome to GirlChat Weekly. I'm your girl. I'm going to try to be real quiet tonight. I told y'all to get comfortable, ladies. I told y'all to go get y'all a good shower, put those kids to bed. I told y'all to make sure they was fed, cleaned up, bathed, homework done, greased up with Vaseline, oil down with baby oil, whatever you do for your kids to get them ready for bed. This time, sisters, it's our time. It's 60 minutes of girl chat. It's as if we're having dinner, brunch, lunch together, but we're doing it virtually. This is about us. So welcome to GirlChat Weekly. Tonight's show, tonight's topic, tonight's discussion. It may turn out to be a heavy one, but it's certainly a much needed one. You calling him a baby daddy, but at one point, wasn't he the love of your life? Wasn't he the butter on your bread? Wasn't he the peanut butter to your jelly? Wasn't he the cornbread to your collard greens? So we got to be careful on what we call the fathers of our children. And yes, some of us have fathers of our children. So we need to acknowledge that term baby daddy, just because the relationship ended, just because your BBL wasn't BBLing enough, just because he found an interest in someone else, you took him from the father of your child to baby daddy. But guess what? Where there is a baby daddy, Come close. There's a baby mama. So, welcome to the night show. I'm doing this for a multitude of reasons because I am the mother of a child. I was not married when Gabrielle Maylin Harris was conceived. So, you can call me a baby mama if you want. I am Gabrielle's mother. And in the car tonight, after picking her up from work, she said these words to me. She said, Mama, you never spoke any ill word about my father. I responded, and I never will. Because in order for me to be Gabrielle's mother, it meant that particular person and I had to come together and create this human being, this beautiful, now 21-year-old child of ours. And rest in peace to my daughter's father. She is one of the best things that ever happened to me in my lifetime. So I will always honor him, regardless of his presence or his absence. He is 50% of the reason why Gabrielle Harris exists today. So, no, no, my dear daughter, I will never say a disparaging word about your father to you in your presence. Neither have I really said a disparaging word about him, period. And I can tell you why. My CEO is in the comments. Welcome, Fred Beatty. Says, thank you so very much for tuning in. My good people, I am so grateful. Brothers, sisters, yeah, it's called Girl Chat Weekly. But to be honest, the topics that we discuss here as women are to make us better, which, to be honest, I just think in turn will make us better in our relationships. So before we get deep into our conversation, let me give you a little bit of a rundown of my day. The day started a little heavy. I don't know about you, but it just feels like so many of us are going through so much. And um my mornings have been a little rough. I'm gonna get my brother in here, y'all, so we can break this thing down together. Welcome to the CEO of Trailblazers with the Z Radio. Fred Biddy's in the house, everybody. Y'all give him a hand in the comments. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Hey, hey,
And
hey,
my
what's up?
already coming through here. Hi, Kim Wilson. Kim says it takes a strong woman to understand the importance of that. Thank you, my sister. Ebony Williams, my girl's rolling through here. She says, I never spoke ill to my daughter about her father. My daughter has been able to see things for herself. And that is a very important statement, Ebony. And we're not here to say all baby daddies per se are perfect, because not all baby mamas are. None of us are actually perfect. Many
Nope.
of us fall short in many ways. However, I just believe, ladies and gentlemen, that if there are issues with whichever parent we're talking about, as that child grows up, they're going to see them for themselves. Because guess what? I'm not perfect as a mom. I've
Nope.
always been transparent about my parenting to Gabby. I have parented out of a traumatic place. I have parented out of fear because I know what dumb stuff I did at 16, at 18, at 21. I know what things I did looking for love and on the wrong place. And love. I know what I did to look for love because I did not feel love. Because my dad, who I love, John Jerome Harris, I love you. But no, Dad, you did not affirm me. No, Dad, you did not validate me. I did not hear that I was beautiful. I got picked up from home. I got dropped off at Big Mama's. And in between on that ride, those conversations really wasn't about me. So when a woman goes through traumatic experiences and things that should happen and conversations that should occur between a daughter and her father don't happen. She may, okay, go looking for something that should feel real, something that says, you're beautiful. Yeah, you big, but you cute. That ain't no compliment. but I took it. You gonna be real fine when you drop that weight, girl. That ain't no compliment, but I took it. I took whatever I could get my hands on that even remotely resembled some sort of love, some sort of attention. Hey, cousin Kenyatta. So as a child, I'm gonna put myself out. I got articles right here. Don't think I ain't come with articles, but I want to build this on a foundation of transparency because in my lifetime, I have made decisions. Ebony says she is perfect, perfectly suited to beat Natalia's mama. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. In my lifetime, y'all, as a young woman, the need to be loved was strong. The need to belong to someone, something was strong because I didn't fit in nowhere. Big girl, black girl with a Jerry curl, triple threat. Triple threat, ladies and gentlemen. The bullies was on me. Yeah, I was smart. Yeah, I had goals. But as far as the boys was concerned, if you wasn't skinny, light skin, long, real hair. We didn't really have lace fronts back then. I mean, long, real hair, natural naps, okay? And if you wasn't in a cheerleader, and you wasn't a pom-pom girl, and you wasn't winking and blinking, they wasn't looking at you like that. So for the big girls, the black girls with the Jerry curls, we had to figure out what population of dudes will take us in. And do you want to know who that was? The predators. The predators. They smelt my vulnerability a mile away. We had what was called a chat line, Brother Fred. You could call the time.
I remember that.
You call the time, and that thing would flip over to a party line. Come on, cousin, winking and blinking. You better believe it, winking and blinking. We would call the time. It would turn into this party line of voices. Hello, hello, what your name is? Hello, how old are you? Hello. So before there were websites, dating sites, there was chat lines with people. You remember that, cousin? With young people. I'm talking middle school aged people, girls and boys, and adults who unfortunately were pretending to be closer to our age. They were able to come on these chat lines and find whatever they wanted. Okay. All I really wanted was somebody to talk to, a male, a boy, to say, just not be talk to on the phone all night long. Back in the day, if you were 80s, 90s baby, we stayed on the phone all night. You remember that, those chat lines?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I used them, Ebony. I did. I'll admit. We was on the phone all night long. First of all, mama got me my own phone line. Back in the day, we had home phones. Some of y'all are too young to even remember having a home phone. And first I had a distinct ring, same phone number, but my ring would be different from my mom and them ring. So I know the call was for me. That was my first sign of independence. Then after that, I got my own phone line. So I had my own phone. It was clear, and you can see all the inner workings of the phone, neon red, neon green, all that cute stuff. And you had your own line app. When you had your own phone line, you felt as though you were the queen of the world, honey. This is my phone line. So I could be on the chat line all night, and my parents really wouldn't even know. So in interacting on this chat line, you exchange numbers, you talk to the person with the intention of a meetup. The person I met, I had to be all of 14. The person I met at the time claimed to be about 25. It turned out to be he was probably closer to 40. So here I am, 14 years old, probably 8th grade, finding myself trying to figure out where I fit in. I met who I thought was Prince Charming. He's older than me. He think I'm cute. He called a cab to the house. We went to the park. And when he got out the car, he looked like Jimi Hendrix. Lord, whole nother show. Afro dashiki, honey, blast from the past. So fast forward, this relationship, this inappropriate relationship, and I'm saying it nicely, between a 14-year-old, yes, cousin, he ended up being about 40, and a 40-year-old. This man convinced me that he was supposed to be the one that ushered me into womanhood. I'm talking about a young lady who did not feel loved in her home. There was no reason why I should be with this person. Yes, Ebony, Jimi Hendrix. There was no reason why I should have known better. Grew up in the church. This is wrong. But the reason why it felt good to me was because I belonged to him. See, this is nothing new. When I look at the social media and I see our missing young girls, the first thing I wonder is she in the arms of some old nasty man? No shade to the brothers, but there are some predators out here. And now that we have technology and dating sites and IG and Facebook and all this stuff, our young women and young boys have access to thousands of people who are pretending to be their age, but they're not. And
Yep.
I parent out of that fear, because every time Gabby couldn't even have an Instagram or Facebook for years. And she'll tell me, Mama, you waited too long. They was laughing at me because everybody else got an Instagram. Because I knew the propensity of predators pretending to be kids. I was scared, y'all. Ebony says, I made my boyfriend pay the bill. Boyfriend or best friend? Oh, it's boyfriend probably, since he wanted to talk all night. Good deal. He paid for it. Eb says, I hate that happened to you. I hate you look for love somewhere else. Thank you, sis. I did. And I can't even say, how do I want to say it? I regret it, but I almost want to say, if you don't give your children the foundation of love, validation, and affirmation in your home, they're gonna try to find it somewhere. Thank God for my auntie, for my cousin slash BFF, because my cousin was like, "You going where? With who? How old is this man? We on our way."
Yep.
So she would not let me even see. She knew I was going to do it anyway, but she wouldn't even let me see him without her and her sister being there. That way, if something went down, they can get help. At least their love for me wanted me to be safe. But I'm saying that to say, as we segue into this baby daddy phenomenon, a woman that refers to her children's father as baby daddy may have issues with him, his fathering techniques or lack of fathering techniques, but it also could be a sign. Ladies, how are we choosing people? How do we vet people when it comes to who we sleep with? Do you know that there's other things to do besides sex? Do we know that the beauty of dating doesn't have to include getting in the bed unprotected, thinking that, oh, it won't happen to me? Why wouldn't it happen to you? Hey, Sinette, let me get my sister in here. Welcome, my sister, y'all. Sinette is in the house. So
Hey,
we got to start with the foundation, Sinette. We starting with the foundation. As a woman, this is Girl Chat Weekly. So as a woman, we got to go back to the beginning and say, what kind of life did this young woman have that led her to the baby daddy conundrum? What was her reasoning for selecting the people? And I say people, not person, because some of us have multiple baby dads. So let's be honest. Many of us, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but many of us have a child for every relationship we've been in. I'm not shading you. I just want to speak truth tonight. Because
can I
if you
say something
sleep
to
with
that?
every, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry to
dive
interrupt you.
in,
My
dive in.
mother did that. She was married to my father. They had me, and then she
Mhm,
had her next two relationships. She had a kid with that, so that is absolutely right.
mhm,
Every
mhm,
relationship she was in, she had a kid.
And
Why?
when that happens, you unfortunately, the stigma is, how many kids you got? 5. What's the next question? How many baby daddies?
Or mamas.
Or mamas, same thing. How many children, and then how many baby daddies or mamas? So when you say I have 5 children and I have 5 baby daddies, now that could happen a couple different ways. You could be married 5 times.
Right.
Right, true.
It could happen. And you can have a child in each marriage. But from what I've seen, now I don't know everybody, but from what I've personally seen, if they got 5, 6, 7 baby mamas or fathers, the majority of the time, marriage ain't involved.
It's not.
It typically isn't. And when
Don't
you
think it
go
through.
from relationship to relationship, and I'm not saying you can't be single and do that, but the question is, why do we do so and have to sleep with each person and then have unprotected sex with each person? Let me get to my comments. I'm gonna bring Fred to weigh in on this.
Ooh, Lord.
It says, Kenyatta says, yes, it's harder to keep your kids safe today. They're in their
It
room.
is.
They're on their smart devices. They have access to the world wide wicked web. www. Kenyatta also says, my dad affirmed me all the time. Praise God, because when he left this earth, I felt like somebody pulled the rug from up under me. My God. She also says, Fred, why you scratching your head? That means he thinking.
You'll find out.
Ebony says, Natalia's father and I started dating when I was 15. I didn't have her until I was 29. Nobody could have ever told me he would have turned out how he did. And going by the emoji like this, that might not have been a good thing. So I'm going to let my brother weigh in on what's been said so far. Come on in here, Fred Beatty.
I think when we think about all this stuff, we got to think about the choices that we make.
Phew. Choices.
We got to think about the consequences that come with those choices. If you're having unprotected sex, there is a strong possibility that a child's going to be conceived out of this.
Yes.
And if this discussion, we talked about this last night. We talked
Yes,
about
we did.
communication. We talked
Yes,
about
we did. The first
being
brick.
open and honest, with all about this stuff. Look, I mean,
Yes.
I'm digging you, I'm feeling you. I want to have sex with you, but I don't want to have unprotected sex because there's that possibility for us having kids. And right now, that's not the thing. But then here we go with here we go with this. The guy will sweet talk the woman into not doing that, or the girl or the woman will sweet talk the dude and saying, "Nah, don't worry about that. We cool. I'm on the pill," or
I'm in love with you. It's
I'm in
only
love
you,
with you,
boo. It's
or
only you, boo. Only you.
or the dude gonna say, "Well, my pullout game's strong." We not. Come on, man.
No.
Let's not even go right there because,
No.
dude, nah, stop it. But
Mm-mm.
it boils down to choices. Boils down to the decisions that we make to want to lay down with people. Then
Yes.
we all of a sudden the consequence comes, and now we gotta face the music,
Come
because
on.
now there's a child here.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there are disagreements, there are disparities, there are things that don't necessarily match up or don't necessarily connect, because you laid down with this person, you had no earthly idea of who this person was, or what this person was about, or what this person even had going on in their life, and all of a sudden now you have a child with this person. Well, my question is always going to be, did you think about that before you did it? And I'm not saying this to be mean or anything like that, because guess who else guess who is the victim of those? I won't say victim, but guess who had to pay for the consequences of his choices? Yours truly. Because just as women have done that, I've done that too. I got 4 kids by 4 different ladies.
Mm-hmm.
What what do you what does that look like? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does it say Rolling Stone? Does it say what? Dude can't control his fiery loins, or what? What does that look like? And but it also pulls back to a question of the women that I
Yeah.
procreated with.
Yeah.
What does that look like on them? What were they thinking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
You knew this dude. So ladies, I'm going to ask this question because it's the same question I ask brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm same question I'm gonna ask my brother. So this question goes for everybody,
Okay.
both brothers and sisters. What when you especially if you have after child number 1, but then you go for child number 2, what did you think it did you think it through?
Wow.
Do this person, you already have 2 kids, but then you go around and have another child with another child with another person, or with the same person you had a child with before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that through?
Wow.
What's the allure there? What's the soul tie there? What's holding you there? What's holding you right there for this person? Is it because you like the feeling that they give you, or is it just
Mm-hmm.
because you're not necessarily using your brain? You're not necessarily using your brain at the moment. Is your body catching? Is your body overriding your brain, or what? I mean, did
Mm.
you? The question is, and this is like I said, this is from a brother. This is for brothers and sisters. I mean,
Yeah.
this is Girl Chat Weekly, but sometimes, like LAG said, sometimes the brothers hop in and make their statements too. But
Absolutely.
sisters and brothers, the question is, did you think it through?
You're right.
Did you give it cognizant thought? Did you really believe? Did you really think it through? And
Right.
there's a couple of things that I want to touch on, but we'll do. But as this conversation goes on, we'll jump deeper into that. But
Let's get a couple of
that's my
comments
question.
in here. Ebony says, I made a conscious decision. Let's go back. I made a conscious decision to not have any other children without being married. Since I'm not married and I'm about a month away from 48, come on to the 48 club, I won't be having any more. And she also says, 14 years didn't show that he would leave his child and not take care of her. I knew him, I thought. Ooh, but I honestly don't think we really know anyone. That's where I want to put the bookmark. So let's go back to what you said. And I can only speak for me and my thought process. As a young girl, first of all, I got thrust into the world of sexuality out of trauma.
Right.
My first sexual encounter was at the age of 12. Yes, 12. My first sexual assault or sexual molestation happened at the age of 8 or 9. So some young people, when they are violated, either they become over sexual or under sexual. Don't ever touch me because that man touched me. Or you open Pandora's box, and now I'm getting feelings in areas of my body at 12. And all the
Yep.
other kids, and let's be honest, peer pressure. Girl, you ain't did it yet. You ain't kissed a boy yet. So here I am at 12 years old, first sexual experience. But because it was not um a great experience, it kind of scared me. And me growing up in church, I was talking to the Lord the whole time. Lord, don't come right now. Lord, don't blow that trumpet because I ain't supposed to be doing this. Lord, hold back tonight. Me and my saved self, sort of saved self, was like, Lord, I know I'm wrong. Hold back the rapture, Lord, because I want to see your face and land on your porch. So from age 12 to age 14, no sexual activity, but that is when I met the 40-year-old man. What's happening in this duration of time? Curiosity, a longing for love, being bullied in school because of my weight, okay? Um, having a very uh, unfavorable mother-daughter relationship, okay? My mother had multiple marriages. I'm going from a stepdad who was sexually abusive to another stepdad with nearly no cool down period. So I am a child that it doesn't understand love for one, and
Right.
definitely don't understand sex. Because guess what they don't talk about at church is don't do it. Don't do it. All we gonna tell you, saints and friends, today's sermon is don't you dare Abstinence. And did I say abstinence? They don't
Wrong
say,
conversation.
in case you fall into temptation, protect yourself. Now, the school may give you condoms. You may have a sex ed or a health class in high school that may show you some weird pictures and talk some stuff to you. But there really isn't any real, in my opinion, sexual education going on other than a book. That's when my mother went and got. No shade. People do the best they can with the mindset they have in a town that they live in. So I am a recently sexually abused child or sexually mishandled child who has been thrown into the world of sexuality. And I'm going to go on in even deeper and say, I really didn't know whether I should want boys or girls at that age. I didn't understand sexuality at all. All I know is my body is going through some weird changes. And no one's talking to me about it. No one's sitting me down, not at church, not at home. No one is talking about this. And this is where we miss the mark with many of our children.
Yep.
We it is you should preach abstinence until they're married. That's a good thing to talk about, but it doesn't always happen that way, y'all. Many of us wouldn't be here.
But it's also about the timing of that conversation.
It is, and that we should have multiple the brick last night's show. We talked about that first brick of bridging gaps with our kids. We talked about conversation, not being afraid to have the somewhat awkward, uncomfortable discussions, but the necessary discussions. Ebony says her daughter Natalia has made it to 18 as a virgin. Congratulations, Natalia.
Okay.
And I taught abstinence. However, if you feel like you think you want to try some stuff, come and talk to me. Yes, I taught that to my daughter too. Yes, I want you to wait. Did I wait? No, but I would like you to do that. But if you start feeling some stuff, if you start getting curious, if people start asking you and propositioning you, you need to come talk to me. She also says we have very open conversations. And I can attest to that because I've known her daughter since she was in her mama's baby. Her mama's stomach. I mean, my daughter as well as my team come to me. One thing about you, Ebony, and I think we kind of all need to adopt this philosophy. Yes, she's Natalia's mother. Yes, I'm Gabrielle's mother, but I'm also a part of a community.
Right.
And if a young woman or young man feels comfortable talking to me, I'm not turning them away. Now, if they share something with me that's disturbing enough to where I want to bring in that parent, I will definitely do that out of respect for that parent. I'm not their mama, but sometimes we gotta understand in the village, if we're going to go back to the concept of a village, whether it's your family, whether it's aunts, uncles, cousins, we should be banding together to make sure these children are raised the right way and have safe places and safe spaces to go and talk. Schools, if you're going to do school counseling, have the real, honest conversations. Bring in sexual education, especially now that we live in a world where there's a lot more options out here. There's a lot
But
more.
you know what, too, sis? The options, maybe because I grew up in the hood, so I seen we seen a lot of me and my sis. We seen a lot of hood things, so we seen stuff that we weren't supposed to see. That's just. But thank God we didn't grow up. Not to say everybody grew up bad, but we could have turned out a lot worse. Let's say it like that. We,
This is
by the
true.
grace of
I got
God,
you.
we made it,
Thank you,
and
Jesus.
we survived where we were born and raised.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
Because even though the majority of people in the hood was our family, I will
Yeah.
say I've had more sex ed conversations from the hood, not from my mother.
I would agree with that. For
And
me as well.
thankfully, the hood boys had some utterness of respect for me where they say, yo, shorty, don't do this. When you wear and hear something real old, when you're wearing a skirt or a dress, make sure you wear shorts underneath. Don't walk up in front of a boy up the stairs and he don't be
Yes.
looking up, you know. So that's why I kind of got stuck where I don't like skirts and dresses because I
Okay.
didn't want the boys looking up my skirt and dresses.
Right. I get
So I
it.
stopped
I
doing
get
that.
it. I
I
get it.
seen how they fantasize over my mother because my mother, when I tell you my mother, yes, God, my mother was beat to the gods naturally. She didn't have to do a whole face of makeup. She woke up looking fierce.
Come
And
on.
the dudes would, that's why I had male friends because they wanted to come look at my mama.
Oh, wow.
You know, but I mean, to get back on point, I learned a lot of stuff from the hood
Me too.
and just from naturally reading books and being nosy.
Mm-hmm.
My mother never really had those conversations with me. So
I
I
can relate
mean,
to that. I can relate
if
to that.
she would have had them, that's why, like what I would say, where as a parent, you gotta have those, like you said, those hard
You
conversations,
have to. You have
starting
to.
as early as even 1 and 2. Like as a daycare teacher, I had to teach the kids about good touch, bad touch. Why
Yes.
am I teaching your 1-year-old about good touch, bad touch? But the kids love to hug each other, but I had to teach them how to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Where some families are okay with kissing their kids on the mouth, I had to explain to the kids they can't kiss me on the mouth because I'm not family. And I said you
Mm.
shouldn't even
No,
All right.
man, no.
All
and I
right.
had to explain to them you shouldn't even be kissing family on the mouth. The
Right.
only person you should kiss on the mouth is your wife or your husband.
Come on.
And I couldn't say your wife and your wife or husband. I had to keep it strictly man and woman. I couldn't even touch on the other topic just for legality reasons of the school
Right.
system.
Man,
Right.
I tell you.
But
Right.
I
And the
mean,
thing is that we don't have those conversations is because, again, I just put it in the comments, far too often, those conversations, the conversations that those type of conversations that are supposed to happen, normally happen at the most inopportune of times.
Yeah.
right,
And then most of the time when religion is thrown into it, it tends to distort the conversation, or better
It
yet, they use that improper if they utilize improper timing. Dude, you gonna talk to me about this after I done the dirty deed,
Come on.
and you could have
Right.
taught me about this way before then. That's why I say they know, when the churches say practice abstinence. Okay, I get that. I'm all for that. But what happens? What are you teaching with that if that person isn't abstinent, or that person hasn't practiced that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where does that conversation go to then? Are you gonna demonize that person, or are you gonna make that person feel less than? What's the conversation, right? What's the conversation? So where's the conversation steered towards then?
Wow. We don't talk about that. We don't
right,
talk about that because if we bring that part in, we feel, I say we from the Christian community, feel like that's a license to say, go ahead and do it. No, it's a reality check. That not everybody's going to follow the same path of abstinence. That's a blessing to have a daughter like Natalia and mine who were able to reach 18, and now my daughter's 21, and they were able to remain pure and keep their virginity. That doesn't always happen, especially for me, because and it wasn't that I was some overly sexual, had to have it kind of girl. I was convinced by the predators that this is the way you show love. And if that child knows nothing else about love or the foundation of love or how to love herself and keep herself, she's going to accept what the streets say. And if that
right,
Yep.
man says, listen, you love me and I love you. The way you prove it to me is that we sleep together. And not only do you sleep with me, you allow me to do so without protection because I can't feel you with protection on. It don't feel the same. So that means you're gonna have to let me do what I do without a rubber. We
And
grown.
that
Let's talk.
and see, that is the lure. That's the lure that
That's the lure.
pulls you in. That pulls
That's
the
the
man
Lord.
in, that
And
pulls
what
the
got
woman
me
in.
to
And
believe it was my own low self-esteem. He was the loudest voice in my head. If nobody else is preaching, Latanya, you are smart, beautiful. Do not let anybody persuade you to give your goodies up before you get married, because they should not be doing that. If I had the right voices in my ears, chances are I would have had something to say, I've discussed this before. No, I'll pass. But can we go to the movies? No, I'll pass. But can we go for a walk? We're talking
but you
about a
know what though?
40-year-old
But,
man and a
but you
14-year-old
know what
girl.
though, sis? With what you just said, with the right voices in your ear, there you could now with the right voices in your ear, the choices to either do or do not still remain. But I think
True.
with the right voices, you would have been able to put some
What
things up
other
under
option?
consideration.
Yes,
Weigh pros
right.
and cons.
Yes, that comes from that same brick that my brother T Wade laid on the foundation last night. No one's talking to me. My mama had a very stressful job. She finally landed a husband that she wanted so bad. She's trying to keep that marriage. So the daughter gets put on the back burner. Oh, she'll be okay. She can manage. She's smart. I need my parents. And to my biological dad, yes, mama got remarried, but guess what, dude? I need you. I am still your daughter. It don't matter who my mama married. You my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna
And
go get
see,
a hold of the family and leave me? No, sir. And with all due respect, my dad is alive and he has been a great dad to me in my latter years. But at the time that I needed him to not forget about me, I don't want to keep nobody from getting remarried. Go marry whoever you love. But I am your kid, regardless of who you go down that aisle with, sir. I am your daughter and I need you.
right. But see, for me, sis, this is where it gets very, very dicey. And it goes right back to the topic of what you're talking about. Okay, watch what you say about your baby daddies. This is where it gets really dicey for me because, and there's some now, what I'm about to say is going to be appropriate for both men and women because
Okay.
we both display these things. So we'll just throw a scenario out here, and to be for the interest of time, I'll be as brief as possible without being very overly wordy. So it gets dicey to me when you as a man and a woman, y'all lay down, y'all have a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all go through life doing what y'all do, but there's animosity there. There's some form of bitterness and all these things there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say baby dad. I'm going to say the father
Okay.
is doing everything that he can to
Right.
be a father to the child. Yet the mother gatekeeps the child.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is now there's this concept that I learned, and I learned this a couple of years ago. It's called sign language. And no, we're not talking about American Sign Language. It's a type of language that is said to a person that is very disparaging, that is very disturbing, but it's also very distorting to the person. And sign stands for several things, and I'll break each one of them down. So this father is doing everything that he can to be a father into this child. The child's mother shames this man
Mm-hmm.
she shames this man by saying disparaging words to this man, by saying like, hey, well, you're not a good father and things of that nature. That's the shame part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes him feel like he's not a good father. The child's mother insults this man by saying he's a brokey, by saying he's a guy, he doesn't have anything going for himself. He's a horrible dad and all this other stuff. The child's father feels guilt because of the shame and the insult, because now he feels guilt, because now he feels less than, because despite all of his efforts, it's still for naught.
Okay.
And then every time they have and then the other part of it, every time they talk about an issue that concerns the child, and the father wants to have an input in how that child is raised, the woman has this need to be right. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is that, well, I had this child, I know what's best for this child, and you ain't been around. So I need to be right. So sign
Mhm.
language is basically shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
Let me write
And
that
all
down.
those
You
and
you
all
dropping some knowledge. Say it again.
sign language, shame,
Uh-huh.
insult,
Mhm.
guilt, need
Uh-huh.
to be right.
Woo wee.
And I say this because we as men and women, especially in parental relationships, we engage in sign language. We engage in it. We engage in that type of language all the time. Dude, brothers, you are not exempt from this because you said
Wow.
because you do the same thing, because we do the same thing to our children's mothers. We shame
Mm.
them, we insult them, we make them feel guilty because they're not a bad because we say they're a bad mother, and then they take that and they believe that,
Come
and then
on.
we do the same need to be right type of thing too. So one of the things that I want to say with this whole scenario is that we have to get out of that particular type of language when we
Yes.
talk when we talk to each other as parents. Why do we have to why do I gotta shame you? Why do I gotta insult you? Why do I gotta make you feel guilty? And why do I have to feel that I have to be right all the time when it concerns my child, when you, as a mom and a dad, as a mother and a father, which are two halves of this child's whole, we both laid down and made this kid. We both now
Both.
laid down and made this beautiful baby, this beautiful child that's now on this planet that
Mhm.
needs both of us, not just you, not
Mhm.
just me, needs both
Mhm.
of us.
Mhm.
And how are we gonna do that if we're gonna be constantly at odds with each other? It
Mm.
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. If I'm a parent, which I am,
You are.
and if anybody that's listening that is a parent, which you are,
Mhm.
we got to get out of this mode of the destructive language with each other.
Mhm. Okay.
If your son, if you know that your child's mother's not doing right, not
Mhm.
doing right by the child, don't insult her, don't guilt her, don't make her feel small.
Okay.
What can you do to help?
Right. Right.
And Miss Ebony, I understand what you're saying, but that particular type of thing, what you just mentioned, that also goes with sign language, but it doesn't something, but it's like that's just to me. Well, that's not even sign language, Miss Ebony. That's just straight up ignorance.
Mm.
That's ignorance. If you're gonna just leave,
Mhm.
that's ignorance.
Mhm.
And the reason I can speak to it, like that, Miss Ebony, is because that I won't say that was me. That is me.
Wow. Wow.
Because I did the same thing
Wow.
that your daughter's father did.
Wow.
Left. No explanation, no clue,
Mm.
no forwarding address, none of that. None of that.
Wow.
And it's a difficult road as a father to try to come
Mm.
back to that. And I don't want to, again, I don't want to try to frame this on me because this is not the subject of conversation. It's about how mothers and how mothers and fathers should communicate,
Mhm.
or at least partway get it together somehow. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I mean,
But here's the deal, brother. When I look at the dynamic, and excuse me for always looking at things from the perspective of what did they see as kids? I can't help but go there because I really truly
right.
believe in my heart and soul that our experiences do frame our mindset in many ways. And if
Yes.
if a child, I'll use myself as example, if all you see or hear in a home, I heard very disparaging things about my father.
Right.
Yes, I wasn't blind, as Ebony said, I saw myself, but I didn't need to
Right.
hear that from my mother over and over about how much of a deadbeat he was, how he was, how he's not paying this, he's not doing that, and not doing that. I didn't need to hear that. I saw enough of that. I saw enough of him leaving me out of different things. I didn't need to have that extra narration in the background. I didn't need that.
Right.
But
But
if you are constantly told that Most men are this. Most men will leave you. Most men will cheat. Most men are dogs. And
Yeah,
then
but
you grow up to have children, and then you have a father of your child, okay? And that's why I call it this show, you call it your baby daddy, but he was the love of your life. So he was
yep,
good enough to rumble in the jungle with. He was the
yep.
best thing smoking when you met him. He was smooth, cool Mo D. He was Big Daddy Kane, MC, and all of that when you met him. But as soon as the relationship got rocky and y'all split, then he turns into a dog. He turns into nothing. He turns into baby daddy. So why? But a lot of times when a girl slash woman doesn't trust men, doesn't have a good view of what a good man looks like, sounds like, then she thinks that all of them are the same, even the ones she picked. So she's not going to give that respect in some cases that a man may deserve. And if a brother is trying to be a dad and she keeps that child from him, shame on you. Shame on you, woman. That man is trying to stand up. So what? He left you and went to so and so down the street. So he may not have worked with you. That don't mean he can't be a good dad. Who are you to think he got to be with you to function as a father? Who are you? Just say it.
Exactly.
Who are
Because
you to be the girl and dog?
at that point, and hi everybody, I'm sorry that I'm late, but
Hey, brother T Wade.
What up, T?
hey, but at that point, the child isn't the thought process on that individual.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not thinking or caring about the child at that point. They're when we talked on that, Fred, they're being selfish. They're thinking on self, and that's
Yes.
it. You've allowed your feelings about that individual to
Mm.
affect you to the point to where you don't care about anything else but hurting that person, getting back at that person, not letting that person get what they want, and making them out to be the villain in the scenario because they're no longer what you wanted
Come on.
them
That's
to be
it.
to you.
That's
So the
it.
child becomes an not even an afterthought in most situations. Child is not a thought at all. The child, because if
Mm.
you were thinking about the child,
Ooh-wee.
then you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. And
Yep.
like my mother beat down my father at every angle.
My
I
God.
like he was anything under the sun but who he was. Like if there was a
Mhm.
name that was created, she used it on him, and she had no problem with telling my sister and I. To this day, she'll talk dirt about him, and the man is gone. The man is gone. Um, and
But
it
for
can be
what reason
very
though?
detrimental. It can be their relationship is so turbulent. Two people can have such a turbulent relationship until it breeds animosity.
Ooh.
It breeds hatred. It breeds
Yes.
you are borderline. So I can't even say borderline. You are hating on that other person who, as you so eloquently said, LHG, you is like that used to be that used to be the love of your life.
Yes.
But that much you gotta just think just how much animosity it takes to turn them from being the love of your life
Hmm.
to being a person that you cannot stand. You cannot be in the same room. You
Ooh-wee.
have to talk about them like they are scum of the earth.
Come
And
on.
you have to make sure their children, and I am saying their children,
Yes.
know that you're scum of the earth. So
Wow.
it's a selfless thing. I mean, selfish thing. They're
Wow.
they're only thinking about self. They don't care. Children,
Wow.
anybody in that relationship that has that type of relationship, if they're doing that to their children, they don't care. And that's a hard thing to say, but they don't care about their children. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. That's going to be detrimental. Because me and my sister right now, even
Mm-hmm.
right now, we
No, it
do not
ain't
have
gonna be. It is.
we don't have respect for our mother in that regard because you
Nope.
totally
Wow.
made him look like dirt. This man is gone, and to this day, you talk about him like he's. Now, here's a funny thing about it, and I'll make it real brief. But my mother got married twice, to my father and then my stepfather, and my stepfather married her but had a whole nother family in the next state over that she didn't know about. We're talking about
Oh,
had a whole family she was with while she was with him.
wow.
He was carrying on with two families. Now, she found this out on his deathbed in the hospital when that family showed up. That's how my mother found out he had a whole nother family.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm,
now here's how much hate she has. She's overridden that. She will not talk bad about my stepfather.
mm.
But
Of
she
course.
will, to this day, she destroys my father's image. To this day.
Ooh-wee.
That's a lot of hate.
Yes, it
And
is.
and not only that, but she literally told my sister, I treated you and your brother the way I did because y'all remind me of your father.
My
See
God.
that, bro? That is that BS right there. That
Yeah.
is that BS right there. Because the moment you make that kid suffer because they look like either your mother or your father, you are that you. Let me just. I'm gonna put it. I'm just gonna say this.
Ooh-wee.
You, my friend, whether it's mother or father, when you make your child, when you say disparaging things to your child because they look like the mother or the father, you, my friend, are not human. You,
Mm,
my friend, are a scum of the earth because that child is innocent. This child came into this world innocent. That child has nothing to do with your damn relationship. Why are you making this child feel like they're less than a human being
my God.
by tormenting and tearing down this child because this child looks like his mom, because your son looked like his daddy, or your daughter looks like or your daughter look like your mom, look like his her mother. What's wrong? What's wrong with you?
But
Yeah.
we lay down with the brother.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's why how does he go from being, ooh, that Tyrone, no, he light my fire, to he's the scum of the earth.
Now let's keep it real though, sis. Let's keep it real because I totally get what you're saying. At the same time, these men out here, and remember I told you, like I'm all about
Bruh,
the women. Like seriously,
bruh.
I'll back a woman and any women are queens. These
Thank you.
men get out here and they do some of the most horrendous crap.
That is true too,
I
brother.
believe that
That's
women
true too.
they women feel with their hearts. I believe
You
they feel with
do.
their
I
hearts. I
agree.
believe they think with their hearts. I
Yes.
believe they give from the heart.
Yes.
And I think men don't always we don't do that like that. Like some of us can, but I don't think we do it like a woman can. And we tend to tear women down. We can have the best woman in the world and we can turn that whole scenario into a garbage heap with in a blink of an eye. We have the ability to do that. Not that women don't, but men have that ability. We can do
Yeah.
that. And women give, a lot of women I know they give
Yeah.
from the heart. And it's like it's not when you give from the heart and then somebody steps on it, your heart is not only stepped on, but it is broken. It
Yep.
is broken. When your heart is broken,
Ooh-wee.
that means the woman is now broken. The woman
Ooh,
has to go through some serious healing because she
yeah.
gave you that heart and you took it and used it as a baseball and you threw
Wow.
it wherever you could. You used it for batting practice. You
Wow.
played football with it and kicked
Come
it through
on.
the upright. This
Come
is
on.
what you've done with her heart. So now, yes, understandably, she is hurt. She is,
Yes.
you have done, she gave you everything. Because women, I always say, okay, like little girls when they're young, they're
Mm-hmm.
playing in mommy's shoes. They're
Yes.
walking around while the boys,
Yes.
we're playing with toy soldiers, we're playing with Tonka trucks.
Roughhousing.
Little girls are having tea parties.
Yes.
They are having makeshift weddings. These are little girls.
Oh, yes, honey.
So
25
to me,
classmates. The whole kindergarten class.
right. So see, women are thinking, females, even at a young age, are thinking ahead. They're seeing things, they're processing things. We as boys, where's my Tonka truck? Let me play with my GI Joes. Let me go out and ride my
Mhm.
BMX bike. Let's get some, let's sword fight. That's where our thought process
Yes.
is. And
Yes.
we
Yes.
don't take, a woman thinks ahead. So she's thinking, she's feeling with her heart. When you do that and you give it to
Ooh.
somebody and they dismiss it and they step on it, crush it, and use it for all kinds of other things other than love, that woman is hurt. And now she needs to heal.
So,
Now she needs to
T-Way,
heal. Yes.
who
Ooh,
is
Lord.
responsible for teaching that young girl, let's go back to the beginning, how to guard her heart? Who's missing the mark where we're growing up as women with our hearts so exposed to any and every one that we're not guarding it? There's no gatekeeper, there's no boundaries. It's just I'm walking around with this heart on my shoulder. Whoever walked by, if you touch the heart, you can have it. Who is supposed to teach that?
Men are in a prime suspect. You ever heard of daddy's little girl, mama's boy? That's
Mm-hmm.
how that
Yep.
works for me in my head. So,
Okay.
like when I had my daughter at 5 years old, I was teaching her, this is what I need you to do. Like, we opened up a bank account for her at 15.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I taught her things. I pretty much embedded myself into teaching her things. I
Mm-hmm.
was buying her roses every Valentine's Day. That
Wow.
was
Come
when she
on.
was young,
Way.
because I want
Woo.
to make sure you
Yes,
understand
sir.
this is how you're supposed to be treated.
Wow.
Not that Valentine's Day was a staple thing, but
Mm-hmm.
again, it's a situation where, okay, if I'm gonna treat you this way, this is how other men should treat you.
Mm-hmm.
So men, I feel, are responsible for
Okay.
teaching their little girls, but
Okay.
what only a man knows about men.
Right.
Mm.
Only men can do that, because if you leave it to a woman who's been scorned, she's going to teach that little girl what being a scorned woman is when it
Truthful.
comes
That's true.
to experiences with men. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're the right type of man and you're the father you're supposed to be, then you teach your little girls ahead of time. You teach them what they need to know. And some men like myself, like I'm like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have your own bank account, you're gonna have your own place, you're gonna have your own car, because no man is gonna put you out on the street and leave you penniless. This is how that's not gonna work. This is
Come
how
on.
we're gonna prep you so that you can do. That's how you do that. You
Come
prep
on.
them, and I think men are in the perfect position to prep their daughters. I
Okay.
understand women teach little girls how to become women. I can't take that away from them. That's what you need. But when you want to talk in terms of the aspect of how a girl sees herself being treated by men, I think men are in a prime position to teach their daughters
Right.
how to be treated by men.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Let,
on the flip side to that coin, you've got men out there treating their women like dogs, treating their
Ooh,
women like dirt. So the little girls see this, they're picking up on that.
my God.
Daddy was a rolling stone. Daddy, so men ain't no good. Daddy cheated on mommy, so my man's gonna cheat on me. Or when he does, well, I kind of figured you would because my father did. I like they pick up the negatives, but
Mm-hmm.
the positives aren't being taught. Therefore, they don't prep.
Okay.
They're not
see,
prepped for it.
let,
Wow.
let me amplify your point, T.
Wow.
If I may, LSG.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
Let me amplify T's point and kind of bring, because I know T said a lot, and it is real heavy and stuff, but let me pull all what he said and make it even more plain and bring it home
Okay.
to everybody,
Okay.
for those who don't quite understand or they ain't quite digesting it yet. What T said is a lot. Is very good, and it is also very wide and encompassing. To bring this a little bit, to pin this down even more, we all know that women can teach girls how to be girls, how to be feminine, how to walk in her femininity, how to bask in her femininity. We
Mhm.
know that. But it's also incumbent upon the man, the father, to show his daughter what protection and provision looks like. It's incumbent upon this man to show her the tenets of honor, respect, loyalty, fealty, um, sacrifice, and
Mhm.
what those things mean.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
it is incumbent now. Both parents are to instill values in this child. However, it is
Mhm.
the men, brothers. I'm telling y'all right now, you have to show your daughter what these things look like. You have to be the demonstration and the example of what these things look like, because just like T said, if your daughter sees you dogging out her mom or any other female, that's the thought process she gonna take away.
But bro, how can you do that if she doesn't allow you to come around because y'all ain't together as a couple no more? You may want to teach that baby girl that. You may want to take her out and have those father-daughter talks. But if she keeps saying to you, if you dealing with that, huzzy down the street, don't come over here. You're supposed to be over here. How can you?
Well, my relationship is immaterial to me. My relationship is immaterial to me wanting to spend time with my child. My relationship has no bearing on that.
Right.
Yeah, but when she's angry, when she's angry, that doesn't matter. When she's angry, she's trying to get back at you. She's hurt. She's the one that's hurt. So at the end of the day, whether your other family is relevant or not, she's still going to do what she does because she's getting back at you. And again, she's not thinking about the kids at all.
And that's a part of the problem. And that's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to talk to the women that we cannot be so caught up on the relationship ending that we deny our children the rights to their father. If that father is not abusing them in any way, verbally, physically, putting them in any harm, you should not keep that man from his child. When you have a relationship, it may come and go. You may be together, you may not. But when you have a kid with someone, you have to accept the fact that kid is your kid together, irregardless of the relationship. You can break up the next day after you give birth, but that baby still has two parents now.
Yeah.
So this is my question, sis, and I want to ask this, and I want to ask this, and man, kind of, because I want, and also, and I think for those that do that, I just want to ask this question, ladies, and gentlemen, what is your outside of the relationship dissolving? Why are you gatekeeping your child? That's my question to you. Outside of your relationship, with that father or that mother dissolving, why are you gatekeeping your child? And if you come up with a reason like, well, I'm mad that he's not together. If you come up with the reason that I'm mad that we not together, then I won't even say pardon my French, but pardon my language. That is a BS reason. That is a BS reason for you to say that, because that is no excuse for you to gatekeep a child from a parent.
Let's catch up on some of the comments if you don't mind, Brother Freya. I want to go back up to one that I didn't get to address that was really, really profound. By the way, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. This is Girl Chat Weekly. Yes, we have the gentleman in the house because this topic kind of touches both sides of the spectrum. So I invited a few of my peeps in here so that we can kind of break this down. But I want to go back to one of Ebony's comments. Here we go. But please understand, I am not a bitter woman. My daughter is the most awesome person who anyone can ever know. I couldn't be bitter and raise her right.
Ooh.
Wow. Do y'all hear that?
Deep.
In your bitterness, mamas, fathers, how can you raise them right when you are rooted and grounded in bitterness and unforgiveness? She says, I know that vengeance doesn't belong to me. She going Bible on y'all tonight. And I know that my Father, capital F, will handle it for me. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I couldn't be bitter and raise her right. The reason why Gabrielle will never hear a negative word about her father is because I vowed to raise her right. I heard negative things about my dad so much in my household. But guess what didn't come to light? Dear mama, you done some egregious things too. Just because I live with you doesn't make you the perfect parent. Sure enough, you supplied chicken wings, you supplied a roof, you supplied lights and gas. But there were some things, dear mama, that were missing in that household. So please don't come for John Jerome Harris like that. Because truth be told, if I really had to go tit for tat, I wouldn't be dealing with none of your ninjas.
Man, look.
Wow.
Okay.
And I
Wow.
love what Ebony said about this. That she could not be bitter and raise her right.
I can't be bitter and raise her right. That's the whole show right there. You can't raise a
love
child
that.
right seated in bitterness because you're tainting their view of their other parent. They got eyes. They have a heart. They can see. Come on.
They gonna see
And
that.
feel when something is just not right. You should be the listening ear when I come back and say, Mama, why didn't he come pick me up? Well, he a dog anyway. No, you should say, you know what? Maybe he has something else to do. Let me call him and figure out where he is. Be that point of acceptance and love for me instead of jumping on that crazy man. We can't do that, ladies. We are. The reason why I played the song at the beginning of the show called Therapy. Number one, I went to therapy today, and shout out to all the therapists in the world. You are doing God's good work. Secondly,
Yay.
I feel like some of the stuff we do to our kids, you should at least give them a lifetime therapy card because you're jacking them up.
Lifetime.
You're jacking them up. Some of the things we say, don't say that we should be saying, don't do that we should be doing. It really is destroying our kids. And
but
10
we do it
years
so
from now,
willy-nilly though, sis.
right?
But we do it so willy-nilly.
This is true. But that's why we have to have, it goes back to last night conversations. We have to talk way more than what we do. Stop letting these young ladies and young men come into this earth raising themselves. My daughter is dating now, and it seems a little bit serious. Don't tell her I told y'all. Shh. But she's talking to me about different scenarios. Mom, I told my boyfriend blank. What do you think? Now, I'm not coming at her with the woman's scorned response. I'm coming at her with, how do you feel about that? Okay, is that a deal breaker for you? I'm coming to her with objective discussion. I'm not coming with they are dogs, girl. Run and run fast. I'm not coming at her like that. I'm coming at her as a concerned parent and as a person who I want her to understand the dynamics of relationships, even a little bit. I also said you too old to be stressed.
Basically.
You're 21. If you don't feel it's gonna work, it's okay. If you think it's worth saving, save it. You're 21. See, at 21, I was so stressed out. I wanted to be married so bad. I didn't care what the brother said or did. Because all I was used to hearing as a little girl was, you need to get married. Yes, young lady. As soon as you come out of high school, prepare for being married.
Man.
Fire.
And see that,
out my face.
And that was the wrong conversation to have. You know, I don't know. I mean, the timing of these particular conversations that we were given when we were kids, they just seem off.
Societal constructs. A woman, you're not really a woman, honey, until you get married and have kids. Come on.
No, you're a woman when you reach 18 in maturity. What?
People teach that. And even if you look at some of them old school movies, the old Leave It to Beaver, mama should be in the kitchen and the bedroom. Come on, James Evans. The kitchen and the bedroom. Kitchen and the bedroom. Have these babies, be barefoot and pregnant, drop it like it's hot, hold it like it's cold. Come on. We have got to get back into allowing our children to blossom into who they are. You don't have to get married at 21 if you don't want to. If you find love at 21, beautiful. But we give these social constructs and these expectations, and we put them on our kids, and we tell our girls, hurry up and find you a man so you can be whole. Huh?
And
So I'm
then
happy.
and then get mad when they don't do it. They get mad when
See?
they don't follow our advice.
And no
What?
human being can complete you. That's God's job. You can enhance me, you can uplift me, you can add to me, you can compliment me. But until we start teaching our children how to be whole persons in the singular, they're going into the plural wounded.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that is the thing. It's like, but we tell our kids this, and then we get mad at them because they didn't follow the advice. What? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't gonna be that person. Look, I'm not gonna tell you that you need to get married at 18 to 21 years old. That's gonna be completely your choice. If you choose to do that, that's your choice. However, as a parent, as a father, I'm gonna tell you, me and your mother are gonna sit down with you, and we're gonna talk to you about what this is and what
Let's
it
talk
entails.
about it. Yes, let's talk
What
about
it
these different
entails.
paths. That's the missing piece. It all goes back to that first brick. We need to
Which
have these conversations. I don't care if me and the dad ain't together. We still can have conversations with the child that we created and should be on one accord parenting that child that we created. So,
Exactly.
here's the thing, the whole
Sis.
baby daddy phenomenon, the title baby daddy, baby mama in the Urban Dictionary is for some people who are not married but have a kid, but that baby daddy stigma means he's a deadbeat. So be careful how you use that vernacular, because it's not a reflection on you or him.
Nope.
You lay down with them. In many cases, young women, if we can be honest, when we meet these brothers and we find out that they have multiple kids already by multiple people, but you still stood up and next in line. You still took a number and got in line.
Serving 49.
Number 49.
Window number 2.
Step up. You could have said, no, I just feel like you probably want to take care of the ones you have right now. You and I should not be having, relations unprotected, because that could mean I could be baby mama number 35. So I'm going to respectfully decline. I'm going to gracefully bow out of the circus.
And there's nothing wrong with gracefully bowing out.
Consequences. When you are in your fiery loinage stage, speak to those loins and say, be quiet. Have a cup of Kool-Aid. And I know we are made to desire each other as men and women. I get that biologically and all that scientific stuff. However, in context, we know that when two people get together with no contraception nor birth control, a life can be created. We can't forget that. Yes, it can happen to you. Yeah. Yeah. So if you just have to go there, use the condoms, get on the birth control. If you just have to do that, protect yourself from the diseases as well that can come with that.
Okay, yes, God.
It's not just children, it's diseases.
Yep.
So we're going back to the basics. We're going back to saying, okay, yep, I like him. He likes me. Yep, the loinage is fiery. However, let's talk about that before we go here. What can happen after this? And if he don't want to talk about it and he's want to be about it, red flag.
Okay.
I was told I talk too much all the time. No, I have questions, sir. I have questions. So if I can ask you a question, you want to fast forward to in between the sheets. Not red flag, red comforter, red curtains.
No, that's extra stage left. No, bro, that's extra stage left.
Okay.
We ain't talking enough. Even when you have those moments, even if you've been kicking it for a minute and you feel like I'm ready to, I want to seal the deal. and y'all been dating for a while. If you do so unprotected, a child could come out of that. Are you prepared to be tied to that person for the duration of that child's life and
or the
yours?
duration of your life.
Right. Are you prepared for that? Stop thinking it can't happen to you. Stop it. Your
Okay.
pull-out game ain't no game at all. Because when you get into that feeling, the last thing you're thinking about is exit and ecstasy.
Nope, not at
Let's
all. Be like, hey,
we grown tonight. We grown. When
I'm
you get
staying
to the
in.
mountaintop and you got the flag in your hand, you ain't thinking about
Staying
exit
in.
nothing. Matter of fact, you're gonna go in further.
Okay.
Hello?
It's-
Can you just be real tonight?
But the
We gotta
thing of it
change
is
our
that,
mindset, y'all. Because
man,
kids are coming into this world from these moments, these flings from people who ain't even grown yet in a mindset. They got grown body parts, but their mentality is adolescent. The decision making is poor.
See, grown
what-
folks ain't grown yet, so let's
See?
be honest.
Come
man,
on.
girl, yeah, for real. Say
Come
that again.
on. We gotta do
Grown
way
folks
more
ain't grown
talking.
yet. They still stupid.
We gotta do way more talking. And if a person likes you and wants to date you, and all they want to do is lay up, something is wrong with that
That's
picture.
wrong. That's yeah.
Why is that
Yeah.
all you want to do? Why can't we go out and get to know each other, have conversations, go to concerts, go walk down, on the riverfront and talk and hold hands? Why I gotta always be laying up?
You want to be around. You only want to be around me when we in between the sheets, but you don't
And
want to show me out in
in the
person.
dark,
What's wrong with you?
I can't
What's
call
wrong with
you
that?
until it get dark. Don't call me until after 8. Get out of here with that flim
What?
flam shimmy sham.
Mhm.
Chances
And
are, if he's putting those cameras on you, you are one of many, ma'am.
Let's use
and
the word side piece. You the side piece,
Listen,
side dish.
you are a side
Listen,
dish. You coslaw. You
you ain't
potato
even
baked
wedges.
beans,
appetizer or dessert. You just
Come
a
on. You
side.
side
You
dish.
ain't a
macaroni
drink.
cheese,
You come on. You ain't main
French
entree.
fries.
You ain't main course. You side dish.
Man,
You
So
the
if we
that's
dollar
it.
see
store side piece.
right. So as a woman, I want us to come out of that mentality that just because the relationship is over, that man cannot be in his children's lives, and that's the end of the world. If the end of the world for you is a relationship ending, you don't love yourself, sweetheart.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. I know you love him. I know maybe he's been good to you in many ways, but if it just didn't work, it just didn't work. Life shall go on, sis.
Oh,
It will go on. Raise your children the best you can. If he wants to be apart, let him. If he doesn't, tell the Lord. Call on
yep.
Jesus. I was not
And
chasing my daughter's father. People told me, but go over to his grandmama's house and bang on the window. What for? What for? What that's gonna do? If he wants to,
nothing.
he know where I'm at. He know where the Gabrielle at. I'm not about
Okay.
to stalk that man. He know where to find me. In the meantime, I'm gonna raise this little girl to the best of my ability. Thank God she had grandparents and godparents and family who love both of us, who are our village, not just hers, but our village. And she had everything she needed. Was he there? No, he wasn't. Not in life. No, he wasn't. And he's gone now. And I hate the fact that she won't ever be able to see him or even have an encounter with him. But she's getting older now. And my job was to make sure I had people in place that can at least give her what she needed in his absence. That
Right.
was
Yep.
my job.
Look,
Ebony
which
says, I
go
tell my young people that their minds haven't developed fully until you're about 26. The only decision they should be making are what they will do for a living, college, or trade school. They aren't really equipped to make those decisions on having kids and being married. I agree 200%, Ebony.
well.
I agree. I was
I
so
really
caught up on wanting to be married, caught up on wanting to be with somebody because of my own low self-esteem. That's why I was obsessed with marriage. at a young age because I saw my mother be obsessed with marriage.
Yep.
I didn't see her and have a single life. She went from marriage to marriage with no cool down because someone probably told her, you got to get married. You ain't going to be right till you get married.
From
I
pillar to
had to
post.
break the cycle. I want to break the cycle. I want Gabrielle to experience a great, fun, full life as a single young lady. And if love finds her and the right mate finds her, I'll be right there to talk to her about that too. I talk to her about it now. I
I
do.
just find it funny how, you know, this is the thing. And this is kind of where the disconnect is with me at this point. And I find it funny that we push marriage on with our young lady, our young ladies.
Mm-hmm.
But we promote dog and dog, excuse my friend, we promote dog ass behavior from dude. We promote dog ass behavior from
Yep.
men and promiscuity from men. That
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
that is an extreme disconnect, and
Yeah.
that's a large problem. So if we're promoting chastity and marriage for women,
Yeah.
shouldn't we be promoting the same thing for dudes, for guys? It's
Yeah,
supposed to be supposed to be equal thing, supposed to be a fair balance, right? It's supposed to be
right.
a fair balance, right? What? Because if it's not balanced, then why are we even pushing one agenda, then not pushing the same agenda for the men, for the young men. You know, we tell a dude, go out there and be a dude, go ahead and sow your royal oats. But then we tell a young woman, nah, you gotta hold yourself back for the right man.
See? See?
You gotta be ready, you gotta be right, you gotta be ready and right for marriage. What? Hold on.
See?
What are we teaching?
My
How are
wife
we
and I had that. My wife and I had a conversation on that earlier today. We had a huge conversation on it, and a lot of what she was saying was true. And it's like even though we do teach, like back in the day, more so, we were telling them, women, it's okay to get married at 21. Was it? We were saying, yeah, 21. Like, but then when you go into the social aspect of things, the music, the commercials, everything, sex is selling. So we were
Yeah.
talking on that aspect of it, and it's like, okay, so when how can we tell them, you know, to save yourself for a right one? How can we tell them don't go around having sex and doing everything that's going to put you in a position when everything that they encounter is sex related? Everything is
Yep.
sex related. The songs, like my wife was throwing songs off the side of her neck today. I didn't know there were that many songs, and and then there's the commercials and everything like because they know sex sells. So
Mhm.
that's where they're at right now. So it's almost like it's a conflicting message that they're getting.
Mm.
Because even though they want to, we tell them, okay, a lot of times we tell them 21 is too young.
Right.
You don't even know what life's about. How are you gonna go get married? You talking about getting married? You don't even know what life's about right now. Why don't you go out and enjoy life for a little bit? And I was saying that doesn't necessarily mean that we're saying go out and have sex with whoever you can find,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
but it means go out and enjoy life, like travel, do some
Right.
things because
Yes.
you're just like I'm gonna be real with it. And again, it's a statement that I feel would get me kicked out of the men's club, but that's okay. At the end of the day, men don't mature as fast as women do. I honestly
Okay.
Nope.
believe that. We do have some that are intelligent enough to, they're mature enough to handle certain things. But I think that men, you get with a man, if you're 18, you get with a girl who's 18, I honestly feel like she is a tad bit more mature
Okay.
than her male counterpart. I do. I think we need time to achieve a certain level of
Okay.
maturity. I do. So I don't necessarily know.
Mhm.
I did what you did, LHG, and I got married at 21. Not to the wife I have now.
Mhm.
Point in case. But I got married at 21, and for me it was a mistake because I'm one of the males. I'm one of them guys that was not ready. I thought I was, but I was not ready for marriage. I wasn't ready for what it entailed. She was ready, but I was not ready. And she ended up telling me, talk about phrases that may hurt. She literally looked me in my face and told me, she's like, "You don't love me. You love the idea of being in love."
Ooh,
It's an
my
idea.
man.
Yeah, it's an idea of love, of being with somebody and having somebody to call your own. That's what you're in love with, but it wasn't
Wow.
me. And when she said that, that stung. That stung. And I denied it forever, but it stuck with me for years. Like it's
Mhm.
just because it felt like it was a part truth. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, we're telling people save yourself, but we're also showing we're giving out mixed signals with
That's,
everything going on media wise.
that's what my sister
And
Nah, bro.
said.
Them ain't
Comment.
mixed signals. Those are
Yes.
direct signals. No, them ain't mixed signals. Those are
yeah,
direct signals.
they are,
What
they
they
Those are
are.
say?
very direct signals. And
Yeah,
it
it
goes
is
back
because
to
we
a lot of
because the music is pointed and it is saying exactly what it means.
Mm,
The commercials, the movies, they're all saying exactly what they mean. But at the
yep.
end of the day, you also have those people that are saying, well, don't go do this stuff. This stuff's not what you need to do. You need to save yourself. You need to enjoy life. Enjoy
Yes.
life. I think
Yes.
the meaning gets lost behind it and it becomes oh, so that means go, as we like to say for men, sow our royal
Your
oats.
roads.
But
Yep.
that's not necessarily
Or your royal
what
oats.
everybody's saying when they say enjoy your life.
Ain't that
But
much oatmeal in the world.
oh,
exactly.
Mm,
oh,
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
woo.
too
Yeah,
much.
that right there.
And we got to
Mm.
be cognizant of how what we're teaching now, teaching our children, especially our younger adults, especially the ones that are like 18 to 24. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Man, look, that this is a perfect example right here. Cardi made it very clear to us with WAP, because this is the
Wow.
thing that this is the thing that that women listen to. This is the thing that
This,
that young
yeah,
women
I guess you
will
could call
listen
them
to.
women.
And this is what's supposed to be. This is what's supposed to be quote unquote liberating,
Right.
empowering, and things of that nature. Well, what about that is empowering, and what about that is
Well, let me
liberating?
tell you this, and I can't even put it on Cardi B. You know who first came up with that concept? Oaktown 357. The
Yep.
song was called Juicy. Got
Yep.
him crazy.
I forgot all about that
Him
song.
going mad.
I remember that one. I
That's
remember
the
that song.
same concept. It's the same concept to me. So you think,
The only
okay,
difference is Cardi B made it visual.
agree.
Right. Cardi
Yeah,
B
more
turned it
visual.
in, like, you have the words and that's bad enough, but Cardi B was like, I mean, there's videos of hers, like, I'm like, okay, can you at least put a piece of thread on? Like, like what you
Hmm.
got going on? Like,
Yes,
hey, I mean, she made it visual. She did. Like
absolutely.
it's visual.
It's very visual. I want to go back and get my sister's comments because she in these comments rocking out and giving us some nuggets. So let me go backwards just a little bit. Good evening, Diamond Butterfly. When guys date, they want women with a few miles, like a Chevrolet.
Mhm.
They don't want a vehicle with too many miles on it.
Chevrolet Caprice.
They want you to have just a few miles, but also want every woman to lay down with them. You can't want a woman with just a few miles, but yet you
See,
want every woman that comes your way to lay it on down.
sis, before you go
She
to the
may
next
have
comment,
high mileage. She might have high mileage, sir.
but
Mm.
Yes.
before you go to the next comment, sis, just like a woman has high mileage, a man has high mileage too. So
This and we be
even
knowing that. That's the thing.
let's not even do that. Let's not
And
even
when
do
we
that.
meet the brothers, we know that. We know the
Yeah, they
reputation.
know that.
We
They know that already.
know. We
They
already
know.
know, but for some reason, let me just say, for some reason, as women, we feel, yeah, he got 275,000 miles. Yeah.
Yep.
But when he get over here, I could turn that speedometer thing right on back and make him good as new.
No, you can't.
I'm gonna make him good as
Oh,
new when they come over here,
No,
and
you can't.
oh,
Because
that's how we think.
that costs you the oil
When we
change.
when we get them, When we get him, he is going to forget all those other miles, all those other chicken heads. And when he gets me, he's going to settle
Nah.
down. That man that had 34 kids, I will be 35 and we gonna get married, and I will be the final baby mama. It's gonna be on lockdown from here on out because we feel we have the power to change a man. We
Nope.
don't.
Nope.
We don't. If he came to you like that, and you know that he been around town, you know he known in the neighborhood for going house to house trick or treating, and it ain't even October. You know that.
Man.
You know it.
Oh,
But
it's
you
true.
still, your porch light still on. You let him in. You fixing him his favorite meal. You taking him to work. You picking him up, or he using your car, picking up other chicken heads.
It's
You
true.
know that they put your perfume in your car. You wear white diamond. She wearing, oil of a That ain't your smell. You know what your fragrance is. You already know what it is. Let me go back to my comment. Oh, okay, Derek, I see you. Hold on, brother. Diamond Butterfly says, who you saving it for? Is what guys say. But then,
Yep.
who are you for the streets? She says, go back to what Fred was saying. Girls are taught to settle down. Settle down, little girl. Get married. Lock it in, honey. I think they have been geared to be right. And we're told, get this, sis, it ain't a lot of men out here. So
Yeah,
What?
the ratio is
actually,
crazy
while
for
you
real. The
Now
ratio is
that is
3 to
nuts.
10. The ratio
come
is
on.
3 to 10. It is. They say that there's somebody for everybody, but how is that factual when the ratio is off and you have more females on the planet than you do men? There's not
See,
somebody for everybody, and those people that know that math, they know that to be the truth. So they're gonna try to get theirs regardless because they're gonna play the numbers. They're
You
gonna play
want,
the
but you
numbers.
want to know why? You want to know why that is, Tony? You want to know why that is, T? Because, and this is equal parts of men and women. We
Hmm.
we walk around with our choosing shoes on. We walk around with our choosing shoes on. We want to be chose by a specific person or a specific type of person. This goes for both men and women. What are we doing? If you walk around with your choosing shoes on, that means you're looking to be chose by a specific type person. So when I relate this basically back to Pikachu, I choose you. What?
Ooh-wee.
I
Wow.
mean,
But you said as a ratio, but it's a ratio, all right. But it ain't that much of a ratio if people walk around with choosing shoes on, and then when when they ain't chose by that specific person, they want to get mad. They want to throw sign language at that person, and this goes for
but
both men
that's
and
just
women. If you,
that's the ramifications for the choosing process. It is what it is. You can't dismiss the racial because it's there. It's
Mm.
there. And you walk into a club, how many women you see compared to men. And a man will sit on that wall and be like, I can choose this one, that one, that one, this one, that one, that one. The women ain't doing that because one, they have confidence when they get out in the club. Two, they're not looking like that. I mean, they are. I don't want to say that women are innocent because they're not. They're not. But
no,
I can speak from the man's point of view, being that I am one, and I know that the ratio is off. That's factual. The ratio is off. It is. It's off. And when you turn around and if anybody's thinking on that, then yeah, they're gonna get there because the concept is there's somebody for everybody, but I want to get mine. I'm gonna get mine, and if I can get them all, so be it. Like
Hey.
if I can get 20, like
gotta
homeboy
catch them
that had
all.
the
Gotta catch them
34
all.
kids, 32, 34
Ooh-wee.
kids, he tried to get them all. Like
He
he
wanted
just
the
taking
entire
16,
population.
yeah, 16 women. That's
Yeah.
crazy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But again, like it is what it is, man. And yeah, we do put on our choosing shoes. We do. We be out there. Okay, who can we
Absolutely.
get? You know what I mean? So you are right on that, but the numbers
Right.
are what they are. The numbers are what they are.
That's true. That's true. I want to
So
welcome my brother Derek Holloway is in the room. Your camera is not
Derek.
on, brother Derek. But if you want to just go voice only, you kind of popular, brother Derek. On a few of our past shows, he has expressed his viewpoints, and we respect our viewpoints. So now, brother Derek
Yeah.
is in the room. Are you ready to express yourself, brother Derek? And welcome to the show tonight.
Well, it feels good to finally be on the show, and
All right, sir.
however, I will say this: I just cut my app on. I was getting late in from work, and I worked late today, and I'm just thought I would just chime in, and so I don't probably won't have too much to say, but I just wanted to, I told you I would be supportive, and so I wanted to make sure that I was a man of my word.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. We've been talking about this whole baby daddy, I call it the baby daddy phenomenon, brother. How when women are so quick to uh, call their children's fathers baby daddy, which is kind of a derogatory term, as if to insinuate he's a deadbeat. But my point was, you calling him that, but yeah, he was the love of your life. You was kicking it with him. You was in love. So why all of a sudden is he nothing? Just because he's not with you anymore. That was kind of the premise of our discussion tonight. And I personally feel as though a lot of women are looking at men with the lenses of their own personal trauma, their own personal, sometimes, lack of daddy issues, lack of love issues. And then they see these children as liabilities, which came up the other night. And when they tell those kids, you look just like your no good daddy, that's a horrible thing to ever say to a child. And why did he have to be no good? Because he left you, mama? Or, I mean, he's dealt with dad. So that's kind of what we've been talking about tonight, brother. But thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
We got another comment coming through, Sister Diamond Butterfly. Women have to broaden their choosing process. Some have a list a mile high and wonder why they single, passing up great men. Excellent point. And we're asking them to have things that we don't even have. We're asking them to jump through hoops that we can't even get our thick tail through. So yeah, I agree with that, sister. I agree. I think the most important thing, and we're gonna get ready to wrap up soon because girl chat is only supposed to be an hour, but it's such a good conversation. And I want to thank you all for being in the room. If I can talk to the women for just a moment, I want to see us love each other more. And when you love yourself more, I think you will realize that you do have options. I think you will realize that every Tom, Dick, Harry, Leroy, Pookie, Ray that come down the pipeline doesn't have to be your dude. And take the
Right.
time to date and have conversation and get to know them and see, is this someone that I want to talk to further? Is there going to be a second date? But we so busy getting busy on the first date, and we don't even know who we dealing with. And many of y'all got first date babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The pregnancy process can't tell which number date you on, honey. If the timing is right and you got eggs and he got what he need to get them eggs to going, something's gonna happen in the kitchen. So now, yeah, hey, your loins got fiery. You waited, you couldn't even wait to the second or third date, but now here you are co-parenting. All is not lost. I'm not here to judge you. What I'm here to say is it may come a time when y'all may not be together because y'all really wasn't meant to be together like that in the first place. You just had the same matching fiery loins. And you had a moment of intense lust, and boom, here come this child. But you can still co-parent in a respectful way. If you're going to call him baby daddy, be ready for him to call you baby mama with all the negativity and stigma that comes with that. But if you realize, sisters, that your body is special and that you should kind of make sure that you at least know this person, know their background. And brothers, you should do the same thing.
Right.
You should be asking questions too. You may be looking at, the big butt and the smile, the T, the A, and whatever other letter of the alphabet that pleases you. But guess what? That's surface. Those T's gonna drop and that A gonna drag one day. So
Okay.
you gotta understand, who are you dealing with? Who is that person? Yes, she may look good aesthetically. She may be built, what y'all call it, brick houses. They used to call them brick houses, stacked, whatever y'all call it now. And it's okay to be that, sisters. It's okay to be beautiful. But brothers, what else does she have going for her? Because if you just want her for sex and you going in that thing unprotected, you dropping babies
Mm-hmm.
in every neighborhood, in every area code, in every zip code, in every county. And women, we're allowing it. We're opening ourselves up to that. We do have choices. Love yourself enough to say, you know what, I want to hold off on that right now. But even if you go there, have him to put on protection. Protect yourself if you got to do birth control or whatever, because you may not want to have kids right now. Well, you got to make sure you're prepared to not have them and protect yourself. We got to stop having this haphazard sex. And I ain't perfect. My daughter was born out of wedlock. But many times we're just not paying attention to the people that we're sleeping with. We're going in the dark, feeling our way through. And then you wonder what happened after the fact. Well, you probably would never a match. Yeah, you just probably weren't ever compatible in the first place. But now you're tied to the hip because you have a child. At least let's decide to make this child's life the best we possibly can as co-parents. And what you say about that man, sis, in front of that child will stick with that child. If you got a problem with his dating, then you still whip. Sorry. He can date whoever he want when he leave you.
Okay.
And I would hope that he would make sure he's bringing your child around someone with some sense, and you bringing the child around someone with some sense, aka baby mama, because your choices in dudes ain't all that great, and his choices in chicks may not be all that great. But we all got to pay attention to the signs when we're dealing with people, y'all. This boils down to the one brick we talked about last night: conversation. We can talk outside the bedroom, y'all. We can. We can talk outside of the sexual atmosphere. We should. Because we are creating children that are growing up confused, lost, that are not feeling loved. We're telling these kids too much about the relationship. Those kids are not your best friends. They don't need to know what's happening with all your dudes and chicks you dealing with. Stop telling them all that stuff. Get you a best friend. Get you a Cabbage Patch doll. Get you something else. Telling these kids all this stuff. Let a kid be a kid. They got time to grow up.
Okay.
And yes, sister says, please stop introducing your children to every single person you date. Stop bringing your one night stands home to your family. We talked about that last night. We have a party. Every time you date somebody new, it's a shindig going down. We are shindigged out. No, if you want to date like that, do it outside the home.
Right.
Consider. Ask Big Mama if she'll watch the baby for a night. But watch how you date, sis. Watch how you date. Slow down. Do it in a respectful way where you are being respectful of yourself and your body and your family. Now, when you feel like it's going to a point of commitment and he has solidified that, because sometimes we think he committed and he ain't told you he committed.
Right.
Well, he took me out for 2 chicken wings. Girl, I mean, he was hungry.
Okay.
That's all that means. Because I was that one who thought, well, if he take me out on a date to the movies, to a concert, that means we go together. No, it means he took you to the movies and he fed you.
Right.
That doesn't mean you are exclusive, ma'am.
Yep.
That comes with what? Conversation. And his actions leading to you being exclusive just because you want it so bad. But many of us women, we want to belong to somebody so bad. And we're not thinking straight. Desperation and loneliness is leading us into a dark oblivion and nulling our sense of logic and reasoning. We do have choices. So do the brothers.
Oh, Lord have
My
mercy.
sister says, we get ready to get out of here. Shoot, if he's serious about you, at some point he'll ask, when can he meet your children? He'll beat you to it, honey. If he's serious about you and he considering putting a ring on it, or considering y'all being one-on-one, and considering telling the other ones that he's with somebody, he'll come to you and say, you've been talking to me about little Ray Ray. I think it may be time for me to meet little Ray Ray. Now, if he never asks to meet your kids, that could tell you, yes, sister, he ain't, yeah. You just a good chicken wing and movie partner.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bed rumbler, a sheet clencher.
Ooh, Lord.
Wow. Woo.
That's what I'm
Come
talking.
on.
A
Maybe he
sheet.
just likes the way you drop it like it's hot and you hold it like it's cold. Let's
Oh,
call it what it
I
is.
like that one. I'm loving
Let's
that one.
call
What?
it what it is. If that man isn't giving you clear signage that he is into you on that level, don't make no assumptions, sis.
Mhm.
I know what that feels like, to
None.
want it that bad. But you can't make him want you.
Yep.
I don't care how tight your dress is. I don't care how your wagon is dragging. If he's not asking you, when can I meet your children? I want to take this to the next level. I am really into you. I've enjoyed our dates. I've enjoyed our time. You seem to check many boxes, young lady. If he ain't breaking it down like that, you just may be another date. You just may be another notch in the belt, sis. And I don't want to see you go out like that. I don't. We getting ready to get out of here. Ebony says, some of them jokers ain't got no business being around your children. You better check the rap sheet. You better check his
Ooh.
mannerisms. You better check his background. You better see why he just got out of jail.
Okay.
That reminds me of that dude that was in that video that was posted in the group about that guy. He was seeing two women, two different states, and
Ooh,
then
Dang.
married, and then one of the ones, the one with the three kids that had three kids, he killed her.
my God.
He killed her. That story, like, unalive. Sorry, it which makes no sense to me. But anyway, yeah, he unalived her,
Wow.
and,
Wow.
and just because he wanted to, for she was having it out with the other woman online, went
Mm,
busted into the mother's house where she was staying,
Jesus.
and went into her room and made her get on Facebook, and then
Ooh,
proceeded to shoot her on Facebook.
my God.
Like, and she
My
had three
God.
kids. So yeah, sometimes
Ooh, you're right, Ebony.
these men, yeah, Ebony, you don't need, some of these men don't need to meet your kids. There
At
needs to be
all.
there needs to be a
Mhm.
better venting process. Not to
Yeah,
make it sound like a job, but it is.
but it
Like,
kind of is.
yeah, it is. It is.
It kind of is like a job. It kind of is like an interview. It kind of
Yep.
is a background check. It kind of is a probationary period. It kind of is all that, because the objective is to see, is this a good fit?
Yep.
Is this person
Yep.
even, I mean, the way the world is operating, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. We don't know the mental capacity of these people. There are wolves in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Know the script, ladies. They know what to say. Ooh,
Yep.
baby, you fast in this wine.
Yep.
You spilling honey in a honeycomb, girl. They know what to
Okay.
say, because we've told them. We've kind of given them script, sisters. We've kind of told them what we like to hear. And some of them are just reading the lines and pulling us in to our detriment. And sometimes it's even fatal. So I did this show tonight, and we're gonna do a part 2 because some of these comments are so good. It's other perspectives that I want to touch on. The whole reason for this was not to make you feel like you're being judged for having children out of wedlock. I have one. It's to say, okay, here we are. We are parents. Children are gifts. But we have to watch our language about the other person that helped us create these beautiful children. We have to watch what we say to the children who are listening and absorbing like sponges, the good and the bad. I believe since God gave us the gift of children, we owe it to them and to God to do the best we can to raise them the best possible way we can. And as Ebony said so truthfully, I can't raise you right when I'm wallowing in bitterness. I'm wallowing in unforgiveness. I'm wallowing in this rage. So I want to thank everybody on the screen. Thank you, CEO Fred. Thank you, Brother T. Wade, Sinette, Brother Derek. You got to come back. Because you know we gotta have you back as well when we can talk to you a little bit more. But I want you to share this. Girls Chat. Yeah, it's called Girls Chat, but we all chat, whether it's guys or girls, because these conversations are going to help us be better to ourselves, to our children, and stand up in a better posture in relationships. I love love. Love is beautiful. I'll never give up on love, even though my marriage is ending. I believe in marriage. I've learned a lot, and I want to stand up as a better person in the next go round, should that be God's will in my life. And I want us to take these experiences and learn from them and be better and be stronger and be wiser. So thank you to all of my panelists. Thank you to all of you in the comments. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your support of Trailblazers with the Z Radio. I will be back on Saturday. Will I be back Saturday? Yes. Because we got to go back to our next discussion about blended families. Last Saturday's show was off the chain. And hopefully Brother Derek is available so I can get him in the room to talk about dating people or to not date people that have children. But we got to go. Thank you. Have a good night. God bless you all. Be safe. And we'll see you next time.
Y'all.
And go get Mook Star Dash's therapy single. I played it in the beginning of the show. Mook Star Dash therapy. Jesus and therapy, biggie size, baby. It keeps me alive. Goodbye, y'all.
See y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah.